Today we're looking at the Marvo Scorpion M112. It's a 4000 DPI gaming mouse, and the suggested retail price for this is £9.99. So we'll have a look at it and see what you actually get for a tenner, and is it any good for that value price. First of all, let's have a look at the box. So the box is pretty clear. It's quite obvious what you've got. It's got a nice cutout in so you can actually see the physical product and you can actually feel the buttons on there. Yes, it does have a piece of plastic over it, but it gives you a rough idea what it's going to look like. At the bottom right, it tells you it's got 7 colours, so it's not what you class as full RGB, but you'll be able to choose what colours you want. On the side of the box, it says it's 4000 DPI. It's got DPI steps, which basically means you can change the DPI between 800, 1600, 2400 and 4000 DPI. It says the driver is programmable. It says it's a gaming design, and it's got a 3 million switch rating. On the other side of the box, it just basically says what the brand is. On the back, you can see the mouse there. It's lit up, so it's got some nice lighting effects on there, so it looks pretty good. It shows you the DPI switch, the backwards and forward switch, and so forth. But we're going to have a look a bit more closely at this in a few seconds and see what we actually get for a tenner. Inside the box there's not much, there's just 2 items. You've got the mouse and the manual. The cable looks a little bit untidy, to be honest. It's probably just the way the cable tie was done, but otherwise not too bad. Inside the manual, it tells you where you can download the software, which is marvo-tech.com, and on the other side it tells you basically what the buttons do and how to change the colour settings and stuff like that, which we'll have a closer look in a few minutes. Okay, so we've got the mouse here. The cable in itself is just rubberized. There is no braiding or anything on there, and it's roughly 1.8 meters long, so that should be good enough for most gamers out there. The basic controls are, you've got your left mouse button, right mouse button, you've got your wheel, which is also a button, you've got your DPI switch here, so you can adjust your DPI between 800 and 4000 DPI, so you've got a good choice there. It does seem to change colour when you choose what DPI you want, and the faster you have it, the quicker it flashes, but after a few seconds it goes back to the colour it was before, or generally red in this case. On the bottom, if you have a look, there is no rubber on the bottom. It's just got 3 glide plates, is probably the best way of putting it, on the bottom, so it glides across your mouse mat and your desk. There's not much else on there other than the model number. As you can see, it lights up on the logo there, around the buttons, around. It doesn't really light up on the side at the front. It looks like it should. I think if it was a bit darker in here, it'd probably show a little bit better, and shows a little bit better towards the back. I'm guessing what it is just the positioning of the LED lights inside. They look better in certain positions than others, but again, the software was easy to install. You can go and you can select whatever colour you want depending on the DPI, and it also lets you program the buttons as well. As you can see, the software here, and you can choose basically for the lowest DPI, you can choose on that one, you can choose medium or high, but next to each one you've got the colour. So if you want it on that DPI, you can change the DPI to purple, and so forth. You've also got your macro there, so you can change what the different keys actually do, so you can click on them and then choose what options you want. So you can make it backwards, forwards, double click, fire, put some basic commands in there. You can even make it a macro if you want. There's even more options. You've got breathing lights, so that makes the colours on the mouse change between different colours depending on how you have it set up. As you can see on the mouse, it's changing colour. You've got more advanced settings on there, and you've also got update and support. So the software's pretty straightforward, you can't go far wrong with that. Just to show you how the mouse is when drawing, you can move it around pretty quickly and it doesn't leave any gaps, which is good because that means it's tracking the movement all the time. The mouse actually weighs in at roughly 88 grams, so that's actually not bad for a mouse. It's not too light, it's not too heavy. Personally, I prefer around about 100, 110, but everyone's different. So it's not too bad. And again, I was expecting it to be quite cheap, very light, but it's actually not bad. I must admit it's probably the best budget mouse I've probably come across in its price range, especially, as I said, for a tenner. The mouse itself is not too noisy. The room decibel levels in here is around about 44 decibels. When clicking these, it goes up to around about 50 decibels, slightly more if you use the wheel button, and it goes up to about 55 decibels, but overall it's not too loud.